we're gonna cast a machine base for the bottom of this thing here. I've got a couple of pieces sort of started on it. I found this piece off of the tail end of this piping that I've got going up in there. It's a coat hanger. Okay, so I'm going to have this coming out of our machine type thing. I found a cheap plastic girder. I might use that in some plaster scene because you always got a little bit of plaster left over. So what I like to do before I do a cast of something, is I make a bunch of things together. That way if I have excess, plaster mixed up, it doesn't go to waste. So I like plaster scene for all kinds of stuff, So basically just, make it nice and flat and then press your piece that you want to cast into it. In this case it's going to be a junk pile with some of this stuff sticking on top of it. So I'm just going to kind of press in a couple pieces at different angles. Then when you cast it, it'll be flat anyways, and you can just glue it on top of your board. Anyways, see how that works out. This is another piece. This plastic piece. I say these off of packing and that. This is actually the one I'm going to use. I can't remember what came in it. It might not even been something I bought. But sometimes these plastic pieces, like a pump or a kitchen gadget or something. If you look at the plastic, it's kind of a really cool base type thingy. This one's got a dent in it, but that's okay. Metal gets dented. So that's the base. This one came off of some sort of candy. I can't remember. Lifesavers, yeah, those Lifesaver jellies. I don't know if you guys got those or not, but anyways, I'm going to pour some excess into here. And while it's still soft, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to color this plaster a little bit. I've got some, looks like a black wash left in here, or some gray. I'm not too sure what it is. Gonna need a little bit more water though. I need more than that. There, that'll give us lots. So, if I'm not mistaken, you mix the plaster into the water. At least that's what we're going to do. So I'm just using plaster of Paris here. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of white glue to this. I'm using Weld Bond. Guys from Weld Bond should send me a jug for advertising for you. Anyways, Weld Bond is a good bonding agent. It works really good for like if you've got concrete or something. Anyways, it'll also toughen this up a bit. So grab a stir stick. Oh, don't use that one. Can't remember what this came off of, but it's in a kind of a V type cut. I'm going to use that for a really miniature trough, a water trough. It's kind of cool. Anyways, you're supposed to kind of shape this in here, but hey, this is a rough cast and it doesn't matter anyways. It'll be tough. I think my selected stir stick is a chopstick. Chopsticks are really cool. You can go to the dollar store and buy a little bag of those cheap ones. You get a dozen of them. You can use those for all kinds of stuff. Plus they splinter. Well, you can split them so that, I use those for really fine railings on stuff, or a wire, thin wood. If you need strong, really small, like toothpicky or smaller piece of wood, check out bamboo. Doesn't stain very well, and sometimes it's kind of hard to glue, but you can see I'm measuring this really accurate. Basically, I'm just going till it's kind of thick, Now, with some of your, gaming type terrain, this will work fine for a coating, I try to do mine sort of like so that they'll survive a year or two on a commercial type scale, like this one here that we did with the trees in it here. This was coated on that white paper, and this is why I don't like coating the bottom with paper, is because it eventually starts peeling away from you. It cracks and it blisters and stuff like that. You can coat it with white glue and really toughen it up, but I like the a hard board or a thin 1/4 inch plywood. Anyways, back to the coating. That's been out here a long time, and it's really it survived really good. It's got only that one little nick there on the corner. It must have been dropped at some point, hey. So, anyways, that's why I mix my goop mixture the way I do, eh? But what we just did here with the plaster, that'll work fine. I'm going to add just a little bit more to this and stiffen it up just a bit more. That way it'll set quicker. Okay, and we can work on this thing. Oh yeah. I'm probably, while it's still soft, I'm going to stick my piping work into it. And before it's fully dry, okay, take a little scribe or your X-Acto type razor blade, and you can cut out, like little lines in there for your control panels, or like your removable panel to look into the machine type thing. So pick a nice flat spot that's going to be visible. You can cut out a little square. You don't have to cut it in. You just cut the the lines, hey, and then take your make a couple screw holes, one in each of the 4 corners. That'll look good. If you have a little typing keypad type thingy piece from a broken toy, stick that in there and glue all that stuff on after. Okay, this is nice and thick now. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to pour it in, and then now if you're doing a really fine cast, you want well, yeah, you don't want the air bubbles. Okay. What I have done, this works really good, is you put your whole piece now onto like a sheet of board, and then you take one of those old sanders, electric sanders, and just stick it to the board, turn it on low, and and it'll just shake the whole board, and all your air bubbles will rise up, Works really good. This case here, this is concrete, so we don't really care, if it's got a few air bubbles in it. Concrete does. Plus it's going to be all covered in garbage and stuff like that. So this is why I have extra molds or extra things available to cast, is because, of course I've got extra. You either have not enough or extra, and it's way better to have a little bit too much than not enough. Okay, because, man, not enough really sucks, because you never get the color right. If you have, in this case, I've got it, a really nice concrete gray here. No painting necessary. I like that. I mean, I don't know how guys can paint as detailed things as they do. I mean, you sure can't do it from a commercial point of view. Not that I do that anymore. That's otherwise I wouldn't be giving away all my trade secrets, right? But so anyways, mix a little bit of paint in with the stuff that you're casting and stuff, and then you pour it out, and then it's all contiguous. Even if it does chip, it's still the same gray color all the way through. It doesn't all of a sudden go white on you. I hate that. Oh, I might not have enough for our girder thingies. You guys don't want to watch this.